Beautiful day. So Alex Belfield, terms and conditions, license. What is a license? So if you get a prison sentence, say 5 years there or thereabouts, like Alex Belfield, he's been released before time. Say he's been released after 2 years. That leaves 3 years of his sentence incomplete. So he's on license when he gets out, probation. You have terms and conditions. I'm going to talk about that. But if you breach them terms and conditions, go straight back to prison. And believe me, they turn up, kick your door in, stuff like that. People who aren't violent and stuff like that, they turn up mob-handed, arrest you, and away you go back to prison. You could be back in till the end of your term, serve a full 3 years. However, probation historically want you out there on license so they can keep an eye on you. That means you turn up. Or in Alex Belfield's case, they'll be monitoring his social media, his YouTube and the like. How do? Beautiful day. Let's get some Brian in straight up. I am going to talk about another case after this, yeah, that I'm going to compare frustrations, anger, you know, corruption in the criminal justice system. Beautiful Brian, bodyguard as ever. So I don't know what Alex Belfield thought when he got out he was going to be able to do. He's been writing books and stuff like that. You know, everyone who's been inside, or lots of people who've been inside, especially people who are educated, you know, maybe journalists and the like. A friend of mine, David Shipley, he was in prison. He wrote a book. Doing books, no problem with that. Probation though, like I said, will have license conditions. So I'll just tell you a little bit. I sat in on quite a few sort of interviews with principal officers where people were getting out the next day. They would go through the prisoner who was going to be released, terms and conditions. So one lad was in for firearms offences. List of terms and conditions, obviously can't go near firearms, and fireworks, classed as munitions. So imagine that. You're at a display, big display, industrial fireworks, whatever, something like that. Coppers see you, terms and conditions, boom, you're back in prison. Alex Belfield, it was always going to be about social media, contacting people and stuff like that. Perhaps individuals in them terms and conditions. You can't contact Miss Smith or Mr. Smith. Something like that. It's obvious, isn't it? However, I saw him when he got out. You know, I used to watch him before he went in. Going on tour, he's going to go on tour, on stage, YouTube channel, on there, like he was before. Not quite the same though. I'm going to say at this stage, a little bit concerned, me, looking at him, whether you like the guy or not, doesn't seem well. And it's the frustrations. He's voicing them frustrations for people so they can see. He's got a good barrister. A lot of people don't have that. Like I say, I'm going to talk about a case after. But he's got a good barrister. So he's on the case of the probation. What have I done wrong? He doesn't believe he's a risk. They're saying he's high risk. He's not high risk, I'll tell you that. Not his offence. People who are high risk are violent offenders, people who commit crimes of a sexual nature against women and children. You see where I'm coming from? Now, he might be classed as medium risk. A lot of people are, again, on social media, stalking, because that's what he got done for, and the like. Who knows? I don't know. But he's not getting any answers. He's getting frustration. He's saying he'd rather go back to prison and finish his sentence. If he did, he could come out and from day one get on YouTube, just blast away. Slate the probation, slate prison, slate everything else. In a recent video, I believe he's mentioned somebody getting killed. Someone's whistle blown to him, allegedly. There's that word again. That allegedly someone was murdered in prison. Yeah. Now he says it's better it's out there because the family of the victim are upset. I would stop that right there. 2 people involved in an incident, me and another officer, and maybe the prisoner might have different accounts of what happened. We might. death in custody, always traumatic for families. You don't expect your loved one to go in prison and die. Brian? Brian? Come on, get on here. Get in camera, dude. Bless him, Brian the Lion. Me, I wouldn't have mentioned anything like that. You're only going to cause the family distress. And if you're not there, you don't know the facts. You don't know the whistleblower, or you might. Might be an officer he had contact with when he was inside. However, you don't know all the facts. One whistleblower, he was murdered. The other, not so much. You see where I'm coming from? So I can see his frustrations. However, his probation, he should have known. His legal team, he should have known he won't be able to come out bang straight at it. Not a chance. They're not letting him do that. Terms and conditions which apply to your sentence and your offence. Now let me tell you about a friend and her lad. I've mentioned this lad before and I will continue to mention him. Got locked up a bit before Alex Belfield. He was a stalker. That's what it comes under. Yeah? He was an online troll. Online troll. Never turned up anywhere. He's not in someone's bedroom or back garden. The judge actually said no threats of violence. He wasn't a threat to the public and no threats of a sexual nature. The judge is one of these woke judges. You harm a child or a woman or taken by force, you know, you've got a family and you've worked all your life and you're from a particular third world culture, violence, religion, you don't need to go to prison. This lad though, obviously, seriously ruined lots of people's lives. One lass on 2 documentaries about stalking. I only want to be a model. They've ruined my life. That sort of thing. So what would he get in court? Bear in mind, autism. That's not an excuse for crime. It's not a get out of jail free. However, he was given the shittest legal advice ever. He went guilty. Autism, stalking, not a threat to the public, no violence, no sexual content or threats. 7 years he got. Mother left court distraught. 7 years. When mum had left court, judge got him back upstairs. People have told me when I mentioned this before, don't happen, Sam. Got him back upstairs, back in the dock. I've made a mistake. I'm going to give you 9 years. 9 years. Same judge. People taking women by force, abusing children. 2 years. Probation. That sort of thing. Really stinks. This judge is another one of them that wants outing, kicking out of the system. Copper. A copper involved with a case. Already made a threat. Before he'd done his prison time. I'm on your case when you get out. Yeah? Impact statements read out a couple of times in court. The lad's gone guilty. All you lads who've been locked up, he went guilty. No trial. 7 years, increased to 9. He got a year off on appeal. Not because the sentence was harsh, very windy. Brian? 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 Come here. Come on, kid. Come on. Oh, he's in a puddle. There's no hope with this lad. Mother was distraught. 8 years. Now, mum, even more frustrated than Alex Belfield. They ain't got money for a big legal team. You know, this lad should have been Cat D. He was low risk. Go down here. Should have been a Cat D, open prison straight away. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh, you lunatic. Okay, we're back up. Treat, sit. Yeah, it should have been Cat D. Horrendous, probation, no help. Autistic, no help. The lad's done well to get through his sentence. He's done it all, mostly as a wing cleaner. Got his head down. 8 years. The frustrations. Where would you put a son? Where would you put a son in order to keep him safe if you were probation? Not in a hostel, miles away. Oh, you dirty dog. Too late, too late. You're putting with mum, wouldn't you? The frustrations. Alex Belfield has got a legal team. He should have been prepared for the fact that social media was going to be a no-no. This lad, not prepared for anything. Went guilty, 8 years for stalking, trolling. Yeah? Woke judge, a copper. I will name him in future vlogs. Round all the lasses, having a laugh before court, and then in court we had all the tears and stuff. I'm not saying it's right. I'm telling you 8 years is wrong. Mum was expecting a couple of years. Truly shocking. Well, I hope we get some amusement from our Brian. Obviously, the winter's coming. Lots of dirty, muddy baths. Thanks for your continued support. God bless you all. Shoulder to shoulder. I've got to mention the media and the United Kingdom. The media scumbags. Merchant bankers. 25 arrested, police attacked. 100,000, 150,000 there. The media, absolute merchant bankers. Just gonna leave it there. Brian, have you got anything to say? You mucky pup. Thanks for coming. I'll see you.